This is country lead stone, Grand Mesa, cultured Grand Burrell. Got 18 boxes of stone, and this is the house. Going around the foundation. Got a little progress done here. This sill's gonna go in there like that. Shed that water off of there. When you're doing stone on, you got a big old huge step on the dirt elevation here. So we got like 4 feet of rise right there. So what we do is put some lines on there, some level lines, so that when we tie the upper with the lower, then everything kind of planes in nice and evenly, and you don't see kind of a big old wowie up and down through the between the upper and the lower section. Using type S Portland mortar, Portland lime mortar. And we're adding Pro Select concrete bonding adhesive. Just about 3 glugs per bucket. And then we're adding about a 2-inch, just a water bottle of 641 Davis color dye to the mix. Using a 20-volt cordless drill, DeWalt. This is the one with the metal shaft. If you don't add this to your mortar, it doesn't give it enough elasticity to stick to the bare concrete like this. It gives it a little more stickum. Cultured stone, a lot of times they have a little slant on it. I don't know if you can tell very well in the video over here, but basically this right here slants from here to here. This side is higher than the front side. And what happens, the reason they build them like that is to shed the water away. Sometimes, like this side, goes the opposite. So if you put the stone up like this, the water will run toward the wall. If you put that stone upside down, unless you fill it clear up with mortar, then it won't run back there. But typically you're going to want to put that so that the water will slope away, so it slopes out to the front of the stone if it rains on an angle sideways. Just keeps the water out. If water goes back in there and freezes, if it freezes behind these stones, it don't matter how much glue you put on there, it'll still pop them off. It don't even care if your last name's Joneses. You just won't be able to keep up with it. So you just gotta make sure those are sloping away. Shed the water away, especially on a concrete wall. When you're sticking it to a concrete wall, you gotta make sure that slopes away from it. Our skidder's track fell off. Got a work at it to get it back on. Just came a little bit loose and a rock jumped in there and popped it off. Squirted out the grease and ready to push it back over. Got some light fixture covers. They go underneath the light on the side of the house. So it's called, this is what it looks like on the package here. Light fixture, and the color is sable. That's what they look like. Go right on over a kind of a hexagon box there. Mortar them on before we put the stone in around them. Kind of gives it a flat spot for the light fixture to mount to. I tried to hold this metal box out far enough, but didn't quite reach. But then these extensions, they make it even a little bit too far out of there, so it's kind of an odd situation there. Probably just loosen these screws back in here, those two screws, and then just slide it out, put something behind it. What they probably should have done is just put a shim, 1.25" would probably work behind this box. 1.25", and it would make it so that would be flush. Right here they have a tap coming out the side of the house, and there isn't enough room right here to get your knuckles back in there to screw a hose bib on there. So we recessed that about 1 inch back in there, just so you could screw a hose on there. So it's got about 1.5 inches between here. He didn't want to do any outlet covers on them, so we just kind of keep it as flush to the box as we can. So we had to cut the back off a couple of these stones just to get it to sit flat. I usually go in and put all my corners on, level them all up so that it's all finished when all I gotta do is cut in between there. Doing trim around your doors and stuff, you just take 2 of these, they're 1-bys, and you put them on like that, and it brings it out pretty close to flush here with your stone. Makes it look nice. These boxes hardly ever turn out very nice, but you have to make sure there's enough of a gap right here that this box will open, because it's recessed in there. But they never do seem to turn out quite right. Little pipe in there, just impossible to cover it up. So, got this wall done. you're doing stone in a little short section like this, it's a good idea to get a even distribution of small ones and big ones on the edges. It's real easy to just put a whole bunch of long ones right against the edge, but if you spread them out, it helps it look a lot nicer. So down this side, you do small ones against the edge and big ones as even as you do on the rest of it. See right here, there's quite a few big ones. If you go too far, it doesn't look quite right. So just trying to balance them out. You put your stones on here when the mud's you put a little extra mud on there. What you do is you lift it up, kind of let the mud settle down into it. And I'm also going to push it this way, and then I just bring it in on an angle, and it just fills all those holes and gaps in with mortar as you go. Keeps everything really nice and tight and solid. Stones lock together really well and they won't fall off. Another point is I always use type S structural mortar. I don't ever use type N. So it helps your stone not ever fall off of the wall. And your lath. These pieces of lath are actually strategically installed. They go on an angle downward. So the mud will go into it and settle into the lath when you push it against the wall. I use a 7/16 staple gun, 7/16 crown by 1.5 inch staples. They make a 1-inch crown stapler, but I've found that it wears out about twice as fast as the 7/16. Every once in a while you get a staple that'll miss, so you just put a little extra ones in there. Got a little over halfway through the back. Then you just take your stone and thump it. Now it has a edge that doesn't look like a cut edge. So when you're mudding it, you got a broken edge there, so there's no straight line. And then you just put mud on the end of it. Your colored mud helps hide it. Now you've got an edge there that doesn't look like it's cut. finished up with this job, on to the next.